Good day, everyone. Especially to you, Ma'am Duran. Good day. I am going to discuss to you the lesson 3.3 Market Integration. We have here the learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, students should be able to number 1, understand market integration and regional economic integration. Second, identify the types of market integration and the major regional economic areas of cooperation. And lastly, reflect the effects of market integration to economic globalization. Now let's tackle market integration. What is market integration? So market integration is the process of connecting national markets to create a larger and more linked market. When the prices among different locations or related goods follow the same patterns over a long period of time, the market integration exists. It is also the interconnectivity of prices among different locations or related goods. Now, there are disadvantages and advantages of market integrations, or the pros and cons. Let's tackle first the advantages. So there are 4 advantages of market integration. First advantage of market integration is the access to larger markets. Businesses can sell their products and services to a broader customer base, which can lead to increased revenues. Second advantage is the greater variety of goods and services. So consumers have a wide access or a wide array of goods and services which can improve their standard of living. The third advantage is the increase in competition. Now, firms or businesses must compete with international companies, a development that can drive innovation, and they must improve their quality, product quality, and which leads to lower prices also. And the last advantage of market integration is the improved efficiency. Market integration can lead to increased production and efficiency as companies seek to compete in larger markets. Despite the advantages given by the market integration, it has disadvantages. There are 4 disadvantages of market integration. The first one is the unequal distribution of benefits. While integration can lead to economic growth, the benefits derived might not be evenly distributed. Because developed economies with strong competitive industries might gain more than developing countries with underdeveloped industries. Second is the increased vulnerability. Highly integrated markets can spread economic shocks from one country to others. For instance, there was a 2008 financial crisis, which began in the United States, that rapidly spread to other countries due to high degree of market integration. The third disadvantage is the loss of sovereignty. In some cases, market integration could pose a threat to national sovereignty as countries might have to align their policies with international standards and regulations. The last disadvantage is the regulatory challenges. Market integration could lead to regulatory challenges as countries need to harmonize their laws and regulations to facilitate seamless cross-border transactions. Now, there are 3 types of market integration. First is the horizontal integration, then second, vertical integration, and then the third one is the conglomeration. When we say horizontal integration, this occurs when a firm or agency gains control of other firms or agency performing similar marketing functions at the same level in the marketing sequence but different location. It would lead to reduced cost of marketing, and in this, reduced competition is possible. There is an example of horizontal integration, And this was the Facebook. When Facebook or Meta now acquired the Instagram. So the rationale or the reason behind Facebook's billion-dollar acquisition of Instagram is, of course, Instagram was becoming a threat or a competitive threat to Facebook. That is why the company paid a high price to neutralize the competition. And that was when acquisition happened between Facebook acquired Instagram. And their strategy has reaped rewards. Why? Because in year 2022, Instagram was responsible for 41.5% of Facebook's revenue as its ad revenues outpaced those of Facebook. That is example of horizontal integration, acquiring another firm or another agencies in line with their similar functions. Like for example, Facebook is also a social media platform, and while Instagram is also a social media platform. So the second type of market integration is the vertical integration. Now, vertical integration occurs when a firm performs more than one activity in the sequence of the marketing process. It is linking together of two or more functions in the marketing process within a single firm or under a single ownership. Example of this is the Apple. Apple before is used to outsource to produce some parts before. But the company now, or Apple now, manufactures basically everything from its chipsets to cases. So this allows Apple to offer more products, hard to counterfeit, and keep their client loyalty worldwide. Also, it guarantees that their product is high quality because they are the one who manufactures their chipsets to cases. So, before, they are now outsourcing for the parts of their product, but now they are the ones who manufactures the parts of their product. And that is vertical integration, linking together two or more functions. Or there is a single firm under a single ownership. Now, the third type of market integration is conglomeration. When we say conglomeration, it is a combination of agencies or activities not directly related to each other, or may when it operates under a unified management. For example of these here in the Philippines is the Ayala Corporations. Ayala is not just limited to malls, but it has a diverse business portfolio that includes real estate development, banking and financial services, water utilities, telecommunications, and power generation. So it has a diverse activities under a unified management. Now, regional market integration. What does it mean? Regional market integration is an agreement between groups of countries in a geographic region to reduce and ultimately remove tariff and non-tariff barriers to the free flow of goods, services, and factors of production between each other. It can be achieved by a variety of arrangements. So when we say regional market integration, agreements between the groups of countries or nations. Now, regional market integration, as I've said, it can be achieved through variety of arrangements. I have here the varieties of arrangements that include to achieve regional market integration. Preferential trade agreement gives preferential access to certain products, not all, from the member countries into each other's markets through lowering tariffs for such products only. For example, imagine if there is a country A that decides to impose tariffs on what being imported from country B. With preferential trade agreement in place between countries A and B, these tariffs could be reduced. So the products from country B can be less expensive in country A's market. And this would lead to incentivize the consumers in country A to buy more wheat from country B due to the less expense because of the reduction of tariffs, thereby can increase the trade between the two countries. There is a real-life example of preferential trade agreement, and this is the North American Free Trade Agreement or the NAFTA that includes the United States, Canada, and Mexico that established to enhance economic activity among these nations by lowering trade barriers. Second variety or second arrangement is the Free Trade Agreement. In the Free Trade Agreement, eliminate or decrease duties, tariffs, and quotas between member countries on a wide array of goods and services. For example, again, is the NAFTA or the North American Free Trade Agreement that created to eliminate barriers to trade and investment between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. But take note that there is a difference between preferential trade agreements and free trade agreements. In FTA, the trade barriers are reduced or eliminated on all goods and services between the member nations. But in preferential trade agreement, it is just a preferential access applies only to selected goods. FTA, all goods. PTA, selected or certain products or services. Now, the third arrangement can be the custom union. Under the custom union, the member countries have common external tariffs and joint position in trade negotiations with countries outside the union. For example, is the European Union. Goods move between European Union member countries without tariffs, so they are duty-free. But EU members or the European Union charge non-member countries the same tariffs for imported goods. The fourth arrangement is the common markets. Under the common markets, it allows the free movement of labor and capital within the member countries, meaning that the workers are entitled to look for work in another country even without a visa or a work visa. They are not required. They are not required to apply or to have a work visa. And free movement of capital means that individuals and businesses can move money and investments across borders without strict controls or limitations that are imposed by the government. For example, this is the East African Common Market that was established to provide the four freedoms with the aim of boosting the region's economy and increasing productivity. The four freedoms include the free movement of goods, free movement of labor, free movement of services, and free movement of capital. The last arrangement is the economic union. Economic union member countries have common currency and harmonized monetary and fiscal policy. Example again is the European Union that operates as one unit in the global economy with majority of member states adopting the euro as their single currency. They have a unified currency of money under the economic union arrangement. Now, there are also advantages and disadvantages or the pros and cons of regional market. Under the advantages, there are three. First is the trade creation. So these agreements create more opportunities for countries to trade with one another by removing the barriers to trade and investment. And due to the reduction of tariffs and or the removal of tariffs, cooperation results in cheaper prices for consumers in the bloc countries. Second is the employment opportunities. So due to the removal of restriction on labor movement, economic integration can help expand job opportunities. For example, I mentioned the common markets, which allows free movement of labor. That means that there will be no requirement, or one is not required to apply for a work visa. And the last advantage is the consensus and cooperation. So member nations may find it easier to agree with smaller numbers of countries, and regional understanding and similarities may also facilitate closer political cooperation. So a regional market integration encourages cooperation between the member nations. Now, when there are disadvantages, of course, there are also the disadvantages of the regional market integration. There are again three disadvantages. First is the trade diversion. Member countries may trade more with each other than with non-member nations. Second, the employment shifts and reductions. So countries may move production to cheaper labor markets in member countries. So similarly, workers may move to gain access to better jobs and wages. Third disadvantage is the loss of national sovereignty. Loss of national sovereignty with each new round of discussions and agreements within a regional bloc, nations may find that they have to give up more of their political and economic rights. Despite the disadvantages presented by the regional market integration, there are actually successful major regional market integrations in the world. And we are going to discuss now those 8 regional market integrations in the world. First is the NAFTA, or the North American Free Trade Agreement, that was replaced in 2020 by the USMCA, or the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. NAFTA is a new free trade agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. It has goals. It aims to create a more equitable and reciprocal economic environment by addressing concerns connected to intellectual property, digital trade, labor, and the environment. Also, it aims to reduce tariffs and trade barriers. NAFTA has the potential to boost economic growth, generate jobs, and offer up new business opportunities for the 3 countries, United States, Mexico, and the one is the Canada. But take note that the NAFTA rules ensure that a foreign exporter won't just shift to the NAFTA country with the lowest tariff for non-member countries. NAFTA rules require that at least 50% of the net cost of most products must come from or be incurred in the NAFTA region. The second is the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, that is also known as the Cooperation Council for the Arab Emirates of the Gulf. This has 6 member states of the Union state, namely Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. Its goal is to promote cooperation and integration, and it has the potential to encourage economic growth and diversification. But there is a challenge facing by the Gulf Cooperation Council. And this challenge is the need for better political integration and cooperation. Now, the third regional market integration is the Common Market of the South or Mercosur that was established in the year 1991. Under the Mercosur are Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Bolivia. The groups has a remarkable achievement: surging trade, rising investment, and expanding output, having an agreed upon external tariff, and progress in creating a single market for goods, services, and capital. It has the potential to promote regional integration and economic progress. But the challenge is the need for more political coordination and unity. The fourth regional market integration is the RCEP or the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Composed of 15 nations, China, South Korea, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Myanmar, the Philippines, Thailand, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, Brunei, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and this is a free trade agreement that was signed in the year 2020. Its goals is to achieve a modern, comprehensive, high-quality, and mutually beneficial economic partnership agreement among the ASEAN member states and ASEAN's FTA partners. RCEP has the potential to boost economic growth and create jobs. But despite the potential of the RCEP to boost economic growth and create jobs, concerns have been raised about how it would impact labor regulations and environmental protections. The fifth regional market integration is the European Union, which was founded in 1993 and consists of 27 member countries in Europe. That's a lot. So its goal is to establish a single common currency, set up monetary and fiscal targets for member countries and a political union. Its achievement is a single market among its members by removing trade restrictions, harmonizing legal systems, and creating a single currency, which is the euro, in 19 of its member states adopted social and environmental rules. This results to significant increase in trade, foreign investment, and job creation, which would include the development of a common foreign and defense policy and common citizenship. But despite the perceived benefits, economic policymakers in the European Union admit that the Union's labor markets are suffering from rigidity, regulation, and tax structures that have contributed with the challenge of high unemployment and low employment responsiveness to economic growth. In this case, this is particularly to low-skilled labor. The sixth regional market integration is the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation or SAARC, which was established in the year 1985. It has 8 member countries, namely Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Its goals are to promote the welfare and to improve quality of life of the people of South Asia, to accelerate economic growth, social progress, and cultural development in the region, and to provide all individuals the opportunity to live in dignity and to realize their full potentials. Also, they aim to strengthen cooperation with other developing countries and to cooperate with international and regional organizations with similar aims and purposes. But it has a challenge of the political and economic issues between the members that results to the slow development. Seventh, regional market integration is the Eurasian Economic Union or the EAEU that is composed of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Armenia, Belarus, and Russia. It was came together in the year 2015. They have made actions to eliminate trade barriers, simplify laws, and create a shared market for goods and services in addition to creating a customs union. Its goal is to foster closer economic cooperation among member states. And the challenge is the enormous internal disagreements and uneven markets. Members of the union, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members of the union have very different goals, and there are recurrent clashes between the 5 members over the application of non-tariff regulation and accusations of protectionism. It is also a challenge for them to establish itself as a profitable economic alliance or attract new member states, even though that it is already 8 years since its creation, and although Russian President Putin has repeatedly predicted the opposite, that they will attract new member states, but it is not happening to them. And the last regional market integration is the AFCFTA or the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is composed of 54 member states. African Union member states that have signed the AFCFTA agreement as of January 2024. This is the latest data as to how many member states included in the African Continental Free Trade Area. Its goal are to provide broader and deeper economic integration across the continent, as well as attract investment, boost trade, provide better jobs, reduce poverty, and increase shared prosperity in Africa. But it also has challenges faced: the geographic and political fragmentation and thick borders, or the complex of both tariff and non-tariff restrictions that slow trade, and all these challenges increase the per unit cost of moving goods across borders. That's all, and thank you for listening. Good day!